Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north. More specifically, we are in Chicago, Illinois, and even more specifically than that, we're here inside the Museum of Science and Industry. Now, a few days ago, a week or so ago, I went to my favorite museum, a museum that I truly grew up going to on a constant basis. That is the Milwaukee Public Museum. But that's not the only museum that played a huge role in my childhood. There's two museums here in Chicago that were huge parts of my childhood as well. And that is the Field Museum, and where we are right now, the Museum of Science and Industry. Now, my mom would take us as our kids to both these museums, and also did many field trips to the museums here in Chicago growing up in northern Indiana, basically a suburb of Chicago. So a lot of childhood memories here at Museum of Science and Industry, both positive and negative. Well, you know, as a kid, there's always these things in the museum that terrify you, and there's something in this museum that upset me greatly as a child that I will hopefully show you guys here in a little bit. Now, they changed the name of this museum. This year it is now the Geffen Museum of Science and Industry. Basically just named after someone who gave a huge portion of money, a random, very rich person, a random millionaire, billionaire. Mr. Geffen gave the money, and because he gave so much money, they said, you know what, we're gonna name a museum after you. Which, you know, I'm definitely for sticking with the old name. It's good that he gave a generous amount of money, but it would have been nice to just keep the original name and not have that additional name just slapped on there. But it is still the same museum, and hopefully we can enjoy the museum equally under its new name. Now, this morning I got up and decided to come here, and I was buying my ticket, and I said, what the heck, I'm going to add all the extra experiences on. So they had three upgrade exhibits that I did add to my ticket. So we're doing the full thing here. I'm going to be checking out some of the included exhibits, as well as three of the add-on exhibits that I had to pay a little extra money for. So please follow me. Yeah, so to get into the museum, you basically just drive into the parking lot. So I guess that's a positive, especially here in the colder weather, that you do not have to actually go outside when you're coming here. You just head into the parking garage, and it lets you directly into the building. We have a NASCAR down here in the lobby. Looks like it's got a pretty cool graffiti paint job. I guess this is to denote that NASCAR coming to Chicago this summer. Normally, I don't really follow NASCAR, but that is a pretty cool paint job. And greeting us here at the Museum of Science and Industry is the Pioneer Zephyr. This is a 1930s train built here in Chicago. It was the first diesel-powered train to ever exist. We can actually head inside of the Zephyr. I'm gonna head into the baggage car here. Oh yeah, this train's got a lot of baggage. Look out the window, see as we drive through Chicago. Oh yeah, what kind of baggage do we have in here? Well, that looks like a loaf of bread. Potatoes, okay. We got a Thanksgiving dinner coming through. This is the mail car. See all the bags of mail. So, very practical train, delivering food, delivering mail. Oh, look at this. We're racing another train there. Oh, just beat them. We got some of the inner workings here. There is the diesel engine that powers the train, generates electricity. Almost looks like some sort of Rube Goldberg device. Oh, look at that. It's cooking up some eggs and Spam. Got the passenger cars back here.
What if we looked
Oh, this is cool back here. It's like domed seating area. Yeah, at the very back of the train, these would be the best seats, as you can watch out the back of the train. Almost like a 360 view. We've done a little bit of Christmas decorating there, showing up some lights on the logo. So here is the farming section here, exhibits on farming. And there is a new addition. Very recently, they have moved the baby chicks down here to the farming exhibit. It used to be a big thing, I remember as a kid, that you wanted to come see the baby chicks hatch at the Museum of Science and Industry. I think it used to be in a different area. Now they've moved it over here to the farming area. You see everyone crowded around to see the baby chicks. Let's see if we can get a peek at the baby chicks. Okay, let's take a look here. So it looks like this is not where the baby chicks hatch. This is where the baby chicks that have already hatched hang out down here in the farming area. Look over here, you can see there's a baby chick sleeping in the back of that farm truck. Yeah, I don't know if you can still see them hatching. That was a big thing, watching them hatch. These look like the ones that have already hatched maybe a little while. They've gotten fluffy, started walking around. They are indeed very, very cute. Okay, it looks like they're still doing some work on the chick hatchery and the mouse exhibit, which is cloned mice. So they do have the chicks out here that you can see in the farm exhibit, but apparently they're still working on expanding this. You can see here the hatchery that you'd normally go see, where the chicks are hatched out of their eggs. So that part of the chick exhibit's probably going to be coming soon. You can see the exhibit on poop here. Shows that the cows eat lots and lots of grain. It goes into their mouth holes and comes out the other end as a big steaming pile of crap. Oh, it actually shows on the floor here how much poop is produced. So in 2 days, the pile will be out to here. 3 days, the pile will be out to here. 4 days, the pile will be all the way out here. It says, how many pounds of poop would it take to power your laptop or MP3 player? Oh man, I wonder if kids even know what an MP3 player is. And look at the cell phone. This may be an older exhibit here, but let's see how long it powers my laptop. Okay, it would be 2 wheelbarrows of poop to power my laptop. Oh, you actually lift up the big heavy pile of poop there. Got the combine simulator. You can actually simulate plowing through a field of corn. And of course, a huge childhood memory is the mold-a-rama machines here. We can make the pooping cow here, a white pooping cow. You know, I have a hard time keeping track of what I have, what I don't have. I think I have a cow, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's crank out a cow here at the mold-a-rama. Here is the cow. Looks like the cow may have had got a little too warm there on the cow's nose, but that's one of the joys of mold-a-rama. Everyone is unique. And fairly unique exhibit here that's been here as long back as I remember, the Colleen Moore Fairy Castle. So Colleen Moore, actually an actress, and apparently the actress that popularized the bobbed hairstyle, but she also was a lover of miniatures and helped create this fairy castle. And here it is, the fairy castle. The courtyard there, and the baby rocking in the tree.
Welcome to Colleen Moore's Fairy Castle. In different positions,
different rooms,
the chair that is turned up
designed with different fairy tale characters. It's like a little treasure room, a pirate treasure room there.
Many handwritten by some of the most prominent authors of the 20th century. For 4,000.
You can see in this room they have different fairy tale items on display. You can see the teeny tiny glass slippers of Cinderella there. Yeah, this always gets me here, the polar bear rug. Look down here, you can see the King Arthur's round table.
That kitchen's cool.
We are in lame duck Christmas time, so they do still have their massive Christmas tree up here. Now the current special exhibit is the Science of James Bond, 007 Science. So I did add this on to today's ticket. I think it is about time for me to head in. We start out with the iconic suit of the man himself, Mr. James Bond. This is the modern, most recent version of James Bond, the Daniel Craig Bond. So full disclosure, I've never seen a James Bond movie, but I can still appreciate the legacy, appreciate the artifacts here of James Bond. There's some items related to villains here. This is the maquette, like used as a stand-in when they planned stunts off this building here. This is Elliot Carver's Vietnam headquarters. And then this is it's a nuclear material container. That's terrifying. This is from the World Is Not Enough in 1999. Now this is fun. This is a model plane that would have been used in scenes showing the plane flying through the sky. But to save money, so they only needed one plane, they painted each side differently. So this is the United States sign, and then on the other side, you can see it is the villain plane. It says Auric Enterprises Incorporated. Yeah, it is pretty interesting. So this is again a maquette used to plan stunts. So they make an exact model of the building as a way to plot out a chase scene, so they could make decisions on how they would go through the chase and not have to do constant rehearsals on the actual property. But yeah, that's pretty interesting, and I do like the detail they put into it, adding the real trees and bushes. Talks about how the futuristic technology shown in the James Bond films actually became real technology at a later point. You can see there he's receiving a fax from his watch, which is an interesting idea. See some of the artifacts here. Yes, this is a underwater infrared camera, and this over here is James Bond's pager, and it said that in the 1960s this was considered to be really ahead of its time, something that didn't really exist yet. Something that is now old technology was futuristic technology in 1963. Also, James Bond, people were impressed that he had a car phone. So this is a wet bike, almost like a snowmobile that can run on top of the water. And apparently this is real. This works. It says that it was the prototype that they used in the 1977 film that actually did work. They didn't need any trickery. But it makes me wonder why you don't see wet bikes in modern times. This is the Aston Martin from Casino Royale, James Bond's car. You can see it's taking a little bit of battle damage here as he embarks on his exploits. Oh yeah, this car got torn up. Some spy technology shown off here in the movies. This is a cast that you put on your leg, but it's actually a missile launcher. And this is an overnight kit given to James Bond. It says that it has an exploding alarm clock, and apparently the dentonite is actually explosive toothpaste. And here is the 1987 version of Bond's car. It says it's equipped with a laser beam. It has missiles there on the front, and if it's on ice, it has these skis that pop out the side. Now this is the golden gun from the man with the golden gun. It says that he actually constructs the gun out of different pieces. It says he has like a lighter, a cigarette case, and puts them all together and forms this gun that shoots a single golden bullet. Now these are real world spy gadgets in here, things actually used in espionage. This is the photo sniper. It says it was used by the KGB. It's actually a camera mounted on a gun. It doesn't actually shoot bullets, but it apparently can be used for taking super long-ranged photographs. There's the wristwatches with the radio receivers. This is a pepper mill and a flask used for hiding secret items. And then these are items here used for tracking other vehicles. So they would put this on the bumper of a car, put that somewhere where you could actually track their movements. Over here we have Blofeld's bionic eye. And then this is a deep water helmet used in 1981. Oh, look at these. These are poison-tipped dagger shoes. These have a poison dagger pop out of the toe of your shoe so you can kick the poison into someone. This is an X-ray camera, an X-ray Polaroid camera from 1989's License to Kill. So you snap the Polaroid there, and then you can see it takes pictures of everyone's skeletons. And this is from 1979's Moonraker, a space laser gun. This is the Q boat here. It shows the video there of it being launched like a missile through the sky and landing in the river so James Bond can chase his enemy. And we got to cut through the museum lobby to get to the other section of the James Bond exhibit. You can see here, there's a car they would use during filming. So they would pull the car on a trailer, have the camera pointed in there so people in the car can, act or fight without having to worry about crashing on a real street. Okay, let's head into Gallery 2. Oh, and this stuff's cool in here. This is the bionic arm. This was worn by a character named Teehee. And down here. Now, see, this is something I actually do remember, despite having never seen the movies. Some of these things are so iconic, you can, just have enough exposure to them that it feels like you have seen the movie. These are Jaws', Jaws, the man with the metal teeth that bites people. There's his Jaws right there. Oh yeah, look at this high-tech battle suit here. It says, touch the screen if you dare. There's a bunch of sharks. We pet the sharks? We touch the screen? Something gonna happen? Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. A lot of these spy gadgets are a lot of fun. You have the retina scanner there. This is the rebreather device where apparently Pierce Brosnan can put this in his mouth and breathe underwater somehow. Got a grappling gun there. Yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. This is a glider. It's actually a vehicle that Halle Berry rode in Die Another Day. Got your fake Fabergé egg. Got your homing device. Got your safe cracking machine. There's a radio flute. A flute with a radio antenna on it. Oh, then there's another Another bionic eye. Oh, here's a real actual CIA surveillance kit there, like hidden in a suitcase. Here is the 007 disguise workshop where we create a disguise. All right. Oh, I gotta take a picture of my face. Okay, let's see here. Let's change the hair. I'll try a few others. Oh my goodness. What the heck is happening? Okay. Facial hair. Put a crazy beard. Oh, this is a good disguise because this doesn't look anything like me. You can add a hat. And I think that's good. I don't think anyone's gonna find me that way. How much percent change in appearance? 92%. Oh, but it says I do not blend into my environment. I guess it's kind of standing out because of the purple hair and beard and helmet. This is the Lotus E-Spirit. This is a car that can drive underwater. I guess it turns into a submarine. Yeah, you wouldn't think you'd be able to fit so many different weapons on just a regular car. And over here is a simple device. It's James Bond uses a cello case as a sled. Unfortunately, he has to hold the cello while he sleds. Here's some more of the real-world spy devices. It's a cigar box radio. It's a shoe brush with a compass in it. I guess you're a place that doesn't allow compasses. You can hide it in your shoe brush. Or just, stick a knife in your shoe in case you need to stab someone. Going through this exhibit, I've been trying to figure out which Bond movie I want to watch first. Because I do want to watch at least a few of them to know a little more about it. I think it's time. But I think I'm going to watch View to Kill from 1985 first, because there's this cute little robot named Snooper. There is a Snooper, and next to him is a more realistic version of what a secret government robot would look like. This is the GO2 robot dog, but I like Snooper better. He's so adorable. Oh, and here is the jetpack. This was used in 1965's Thunderball, but it says that they actually used a real device that could actually fly, which is absolutely insane. Here's a modern jetpack that works. You can actually see the guy here in the pictures flying in front of the museum, and it's crazy. Like, somewhere along the lines, they just invented jetpacks, and apparently none of us even noticed. When we exit through the 007 gift shop here, and you can actually buy some replicas of some of the stuff we saw in there. The Moonraker laser, the golden gun. And I am serious. I do want to actually sit down finally and watch some James Bond movies. I can't watch them all. I don't have enough time. But if you guys would put in the comment section some of the what you guys think the better James Bond movies are, I will check them out. Just leave a comment in the comment section. Yeah, they do have a great train display here. This over here is actually Seattle. You can see the Space Needle, and then that's Mopop there, the Museum of Pop Culture. Both great attractions. The Museum of Science and Industry does have kind of a heavy lean towards transportation. We saw the Pioneer Zephyr downstairs. Now you have the big train set here. It's actually, see, the sun is setting on the train set here. And up above, you got that big Boeing 727 hanging over the train set. Over here, we can take a closer look at the city of Chicago itself here on the train set. You can see the Willis Tower, formerly known as the Sears Tower, almost reaches up to the wing of the 727. And you can see right there between the buildings, you see the L train passing by. And over next to the miniatures, we have a non-miniature, the Empire State Express, number 999 here. old steam engine. And I know I have a couple of different trains, but let's go ahead and make a mold-a-rama of the Empire State 999 train here at the Museum of Science and Industry. There we go, the mighty 999. I think this is a newer exhibit here, the Blue Paradox, an immersive experience on the ocean plastic crisis. Oh yeah, I see the fish up above us. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to see the Blue Paradox today because you have to sign up for a time here. It is free, but I had one person and it says no sessions available today. There are no remaining sessions today to cater to your party of one. You go back and select a smaller party size or try again. So we'll select a party size of 0. Oh, that doesn't work either. Let's head up the yellow stairs. They used to have exhibits here in the stairwells. Looks like they just go wrong with the plane motif now. In the stairwells here used to lurk the thing that terrified me from this museum. I think it's upstairs. But before we look at the terror that lurks on this floor, let's check out the 727 here. Saw this earlier, it was hanging over the train. The train set's back there. Now up here you can actually enter the plane. It looks crowded in there. Look into the cockpit here of the 727. Planes are so complicated. I don't know how anyone flies one. There's the flight attendants station here. You can see back when they used to have the glass on the planes with the airline logo on the glasses. Look at this, they even had 727 wine. Yeah, the coffee machine. The little tiny bottles of liquor back there, and yeah, they served their own brand of wine on the plane. You put your luggage up here, then you take your seat here on the plane. I always like to have a window seat so you can lean your head against the wall and fall asleep, and you can see what's happening. Check the wing for gremlins.
People in front of me apparently. Whoops.
Peek out the window here and actually see that train set down below us. It's kind of cool because the train set kind of creates the illusion that you're flying over a little city, that you're high up here in the plane. Look at the tail. You can take a look at the ground. You see everyone's luggage packed nice and tight in there. I love the old suitcases. There is the tail of the plane where the stairs can drop down. The air stair, as it is known. I like that. This is where like D.B. Cooper would jump off of a plane. But now we shall go experience the true horror that is the Museum of Science and Industry. They call this the experience, but dark things lurk within. And there they are. The body slices. These 2 slices used to be in the stairwell. In the darkly lit stairwell. It was much darker and creepier back in the day. And I remember seeing these and I'm like, wow, those are like really crazy looking. Like, you know, how did they make these? And someone told me they were real people. And I looked closer and I could tell they were. You could see the hairs. You could see the individual things on them that were dead giveaway. These were actual human body slices. The idea that you could slice a human like a piece of lunch meat deeply upset me as a child. See? You can see the eyelashes there. Those are the things I was looking at when I was a kid, where I knew this was a real body. It just absolutely mortified me as a child. Specifically remember just like not being okay with this as a kid. I didn't know that real humans were ever used in a museum. I didn't know they ever put real people in museums, and just the thought of people being chopped up like that. I remember sitting at home like the night after. It was a field trip that I first saw the body slices, and I remember sitting at home just thinking to myself as a small child, I just couldn't stop thinking about the body slices and how I saw a real chopped up person. Now I see stuff way worse than this, and I don't get upset. Back then, the little tiny carpetbagger was deeply upset. And see, that's a lot of things about going to these museums as a kid. A lot of it did upset me. A lot of it did help me understand the world and form my opinion. The world's a harsh place. People get sliced up all the time. And I learned that here at the Museum of Science and Industry. Oh yeah, the backside here you even get more detail of the slices. I wonder what they did. I mean, this is just a small, like only like that thick. So I wonder what they did with the rest of the body. Are there all the rest of the slices at some other museum, or did they just throw them away? Yeah, it's like a freaking delicatessen in here. All the different sliced up people. It's like a head sliced that way. There's a brain. Yeah, these are all people sliced in different directions. Yeah, that's not a cut a steak from the grocery store. That's a human steak there. Yeah, interesting just seeing people turned into cutlets. It says this is eye scan here. He is a patient simulator, so I guess he has different things that can be experimented on. Fortunately, to my knowledge, he was never a real person. But since I was a kid, things have expanded. You now have these plastinated bodies where the flesh is actually turned into plastic. And yeah, these were not here when I was a kid. This is the circulatory system preserved. This is an expanded body, or an exploding gore monster, as I like to call it, where all the parts have been separated and pulled apart, so you can see the full human body and all the different pieces. Now, they used to have a giant heart here that you could walk through, and that was super cool. But unfortunately, at some point, they got rid of it and replaced it with this big, pulsating 3D heart on the wall. I don't know. It's cool, but it doesn't really match the old walk-through heart. And this section here can be upsetting to some. It definitely upset me as a kid, so I'm not going to show it up close. But these are all the developmental stages of a human before they are born. And this also really upset me as a kid when I learned that these were real babies. Of course, you know, they're babies that did not survive for one reason or other, and now they're here providing education to people, so they definitely are serving a noble cause. But just, you know, I have children of my own, and so I don't necessarily like to get up close and personal with these. But yeah, I remember seeing them as a kid. This is another thing that haunted me. So I spent many nights alone at home as a small child, haunted by things I saw at the Museum of Science and Industry. And up here we get a view of the other side of the 727, as well as some other planes hanging up here on the ceiling. Oh, check out this guy here. He's killed 5 Nazis. Good work, buddy. You can see that 727 wing comes all the way here to the other side. There's actually an indentation over here to allow room for the wing. And on further inspection, there does not appear to be any gremlins. You see that big plane there flying right over the city of Chicago. Here is the Jenny. It's like a stunt plane meant to do like crazy maneuvers. You can actually see there is a lady standing on the wing there doing a wing walk act. And look at this, you can see their prices on their wing, or how many times they would fly a banner past a group of people for different amounts of money. Now this is where I've actually heard of the Jenny before, is they put it on a U.S. postal stamp. Some of them were printed upside down on accident, which is kind of ironic because the Jenny would fly upside down, but it was considered a misprint, and only very few were printed upside down, making this the most valuable stamp, the crown jewel of any stamp collector. And we actually saw some of these at the U.S. Postal Museum. And actually, the story is Jen, her father was a stamp collector, and would actually call her upside down, would pick her up, hold her upside down, and call her upside down Jenny, because he, because he loved stamps and loved rare stamps, and loved his daughter as well. Now here's a recreation of the Wright Flyer. This is a reproduction of the original plane, the first ever plane to take flight, manned by a pilot. The Wright brothers, of course, there's one of the Wright brothers. I'm not sure if that's Wilbur or Orville there. Now you can see the original in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. Also, they have a later version at Carillon Park in Dayton, Ohio. This is an interesting exhibit, Wired to Wear. It shows like high-tech clothing. This is a racing suit that actually has airbags built in the suit to deploy before you go flying and hit the ground. Oh, this is interesting. This is Agent Unicorn. So apparently, you hook this up to a kid, potentially one with attention deficit disorder, and it picks up on when they're really interested in something, when something sparks their interest, and then it creates a video capture of that to show to the parents later, which is good, but also I could see a lot of ethical concerns with that. I don't know if I'd like my parents to see everything that I'm interested in. And here's some very interesting prosthetics in here. Instead of having one prosthetic hand, this is actually a double prosthetic hand. So you put it on the arm, and you have two hands on one arm. Also, here is a glitter cannon meant to be mounted onto an amputee's arm. So these decorated LED backpacks. So this is a lot of fun. I may need one of these. This is a barking coat. If you get too close, it makes the coat barks at the person behind you, telling them they're too close. And it says the dog bark gets meaner depending on how close you get to the coat. There's an iridescent collar. You can see the little pieces move there, creating different colors. Oh wait, the stairwell down here actually does have some exhibits. So some like hidden exhibits that are only in if you go down one of the different stairwells. And these are body replicas. These ones aren't real people. The body slices used to be in one of the stairwells, and now they just have these nice, gentle replicas. Oh, that's what the inside of your nose looks like. More complicated than I thought. I thought it was just a big hole. Then there's the inside of your ear where there is a lot going on. And there's the big eyeball. All right, now we're heading into our next add-on exhibit, the U-505 Submarine. This is a submarine that was captured from the Germans in World War II, and they actually have the submarine here at the museum. Now, I've obviously seen the submarine before, but I've never actually bought a ticket to go inside the submarine until today. So they have a whole special wing over here dedicated to the submarine. Let's head down and hop aboard. And never forget, loose lips sink ships.
What? Yeah.
Investigating possible sound contact.
I've seen more videos.
And here it is, the U-505, the captured German submarine. Like I said, the Museum of Science and Industry has kind of a heavy focus on transportation, trains, planes, and now under the water. Let's head down and get on this ship.
hydrodynamic hull, and the reason it's so thin and hollow is because in between this and the actual pressure hull, what protects and houses the crew is a lot of void space. And it is a German submarine. There's going to be plenty of German for me to translate. Here's some for me now. We got ballast flap diving number 7 on the port side, open and close. And now we're walking into the POQ.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, look at that. The torpedoes in there.
We still do that today. In the U.S. Navy, we call it hot bunking. For the Germans in the 40s, they would sleep for 6 hours, roll out of bed after nap time, and then somebody else would go right back into the same pre-warmed and sweaty.
Oh, at least it's warm.
Yes, and I do mean sweaty. What do you think the average temperature was inside these old submarines? 104? Just about on the money. It's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit in this compartment for 90 days straight. He
just pointed out that there's actually bunks. There's bunks inside where the torpedoes are.
Counterpoint, it did probably make the boats.
There's a simulated torpedo attack.
Save on battery power, as it is a hybrid vehicle. Red lights on for battle stations, and the dive alarm would sound, signaling men for.
Crammed back in here, we have the kitchen. It's already 100 degrees in here. Imagine how hot it would be here over the stove. A record playing in there.
And for the German crew on board, in complete darkness, leaks spinning, and these controls malfunctioning, Captain Harold Lana had a very important decision. The captain chose to blow ballast, forcing compressed air into the ballast tanks, basically.
Yeah, walking through as the simulation of the ship being sank. Meters. Yeah, you can see here all the controls in German.
I took 4 years of German in high school, but I couldn't.
Okay, we can take a peek in here. Oh yeah, there's the single bathroom here on the submarine. It's a real fascinating story. I had an excellent guide in there talking about the capture of the submarine in there. And this is very rare, one of the last German U-boats left from World War II. There's actually an interesting story on how it ended up in Chicago. And it's one of these servicemen that was involved in the capture of the ship in World War II. He was from Chicago and found out the ship was not being used, was being left to rust in Portsmouth, Massachusetts. And he decided he wanted to bring it back to his home in Chicago. He had participated in capturing it and just wanted to bring it here to show off his city, what he had captured during World War II. So apparently raised the money in Chicago. The money was all raised in Chicago. People wanted to bring the U-boat here. They raised enough money, purchased it from the U.S. Navy, who was planning to demolish it. They took it out into the Atlantic Ocean and then took it through the Great Lakes and sailed through Lake Michigan right here, pulled up right into Chicago from Lake Michigan, where it was placed on the lawn of the Museum of Science and Industry and sat on the lawn for 50 years. Now, I was trying to think back if I'd ever been inside. I don't think I've ever been in here. I don't remember ever touring this with a field trip. He said that it was on the lawn. They did give walkthroughs. But I don't think our school ever did a walkthrough of the boat. So the boat sat there for 50 years, and then in 2004 they raised more money to bring it inside. And apparently this was dug as a big hole. They dropped the ship down in the hole and plopped a roof on it. So they just basically sunk it down to the ground so they could preserve it inside so people could enjoy it for years to come. And apparently they museum actually contacted the German government to ask with assistance for the renovations. And believe it or not, the German government complied. They provided some of the original paint and original spare parts to fix up the submarine. You can see over here the torpedo blasting forth from the submarine. And to celebrate finally going inside the U-505, let's get us a U-505 mold-a-rama made.
Let's go up these stairs.
There we go.
Go up these stairs, and then we'll go to the chips.
Look at that. Been inside there. But even with all these mold-a-ramas around, let us not forget the 2024, the year of the pressed penny, winding down. We're in the final week of the year of the pressed penny, so we definitely want to get some pressed pennies over here at the Museum of Science and Industry. You got some U-505 pressed pennies, and then there is the Fairy Castle. And 4 more for the collection. Here we have the mold-a-rama exhibit. Of course, mold-a-rama is just a huge thing here in the Midwest, in the Chicagoland area. And this exhibit, they opened this up a year or 2 ago, and they've actually had some rotating mold-a-rama machines in here. Now, sadly, this exhibit's going away next month in January, so it's our last chance to check it out here. What do we have? We have Santa Claus, so they do have some seasonal holiday molds in here. Okay, this is one I don't have. What are we looking at here? This is the this is the Space Taxi. Oh, this was a machine from the 1964 New York World's Fair, the Hall of Science, where they showed off the Space Taxi. We're definitely going to have to get the Space Taxi made. There it is, the Space Taxi. Oh, wow. That is interesting. Yeah, really cool. Never seen this one before. We also have the baby chicks in here being hatched from their eggs. And here is the Willis Tower, or Sears Tower, depending on what generation you are from. They used to have the mold at the actual Sears Tower, but now they have it over here. I do have an original one from when they had it over at the Willis/Sears Tower. Where in this case here they show off the pellets that would be melted to make the different molds. And there is the Fairy Castle there. This is one of the rarest mold-a-ramas you can find. I've heard that it just doesn't work very well because of the shape and size of the mold. So if you can find one of these, scoop it up. And here we see a large number of different molds. You see, I think I have the majority of these. I'm missing a few of them. That's a Willie's Gasser. That's over at the Henry Ford Museum. Of course, you get a lot of animals from the zoos. The zoos are probably the place they're the most common. You know, Disney had the molds for a period of time. You get the Christmas molds, the snowman there, and the Santa Claus. Just a couple different varieties of Santa Claus. I think I have the vast majority of these. Space robot. I don't think I have this donkey or this really cool shark right there. So I am missing a few pieces that aren't readily available, but I've amassed quite a collection over the years. I don't have this gas station mascot here. The Wienermobile's from the Henry Ford as well. I have this one, but I forget who he is. The Wild Heads. So yeah, just a few I'm missing from this display case. I don't have this big maple. Maybe I do actually. Now I think I might actually have that. But one I actually am missing is they had the 727 airplane is part of this exhibit. I think they may have not had it very long because I think they were having problems with the mold, just not forming right. But if anyone out there has a 727, reach out to me. If you have an extra spare, I'm looking to purchase one. So I have not seen this before. This is an exhibit celebrating the 90th anniversary of the Museum of Science and Industry, which was founded in 1933. And I guess they have a different artifact from every decade on display here in this special exhibit. This 1930s era Galton board was on display at the Chicago Century of Progress World's Fair. So a World's Fair item here. And it shows the how a bell curve works. And let's see, let's activate it here. Push the button to activate. So it will flip upside down, and that curve there predicts where the little BBs, little metal balls, will fall. So they head down from the top of the machine. Oh, I thought they were stuck there, but there they go. And it shows that they actually fall in line with the predicted curve. From the 1940s, they have this General Electric television, which was cutting edge at the time. Now, an antique. Here is a 1960s Polaroid camera, which those were a lot of fun. I've thought about getting one of the new ones, because I really do like these retro Polaroids. And then this here, the 1950s, considered the world's most dangerous toy. It's the Atomic Energy Lab. This is real. This is a real Atomic Energy Lab. And apparently these kits actually contained uranium. I think hopefully they got rid of the uranium from this particular kit. Now this is from the 1960s. This is TAM, the Transparent Anatomical Mannequin. Now these were very popular at one point in different museums across the country. Often called like the Invisible Woman or the Invisible Man. You can actually see inside all how the body works without resorting to slicing people apart. But yeah, these are very rare to find these days. These were all the rage back in the 60s and 70s. Now very, very hard to find one of these actually being used. But their 1990s item they have here is a Nirvana record. And you see it's the in utero record, and you can see they actually used Tam on the cover, added a pair of wings, and put her on the artwork for in utero. So definitely a piece of pop culture in a variety of decades. This item from the 2000s here. This is a jacket that had a MP3 player built into it with headphones, and they have the controls for the MP3 player on the sleeve of the jacket. It's never caught on. I feel like maybe we didn't need it to be inside the jacket. And this is Baxter, the Cobot. He was a cooperative robot that was here since 2015, I guess he made his debut. And he is already retired here. Kind of sad Baxter sitting here all lifeless. Apparently his face used to actually appear on that screen. Over here in the lunchroom, they have another pressed penny machine. I think we definitely need to get these as well. It has the world on it, the cow. I don't remember seeing the ship here, but we're gonna get all these anyways. And notice these pennies have the new name etched onto them, the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry. Now, as the year of the pressed penny winds down, I think about other things I may want to collect in the future. I've thought about these medallions. These are kind of the new age pressed pennies. I'm starting to see these more and more, and they are cool. And I do like the designs here. They have the museum exterior on it. They've got the baby chicks hatching, but man, these are not cheap. It's $1 for $5 for one of them. You get $4 for 15. Some places are even more expensive than that. It seems like a very large investment. Oh wait, it's snowing. Yes, I thought we were done with snow for the year, but here we go. Here we are. A merry belated Christmas to all. Oh, it's snow in my eye. we'll head in here to the Science of Storms and say hello to the tornado. The Museum of Science and Industry indoor tornado over here. Oh, they have a little miniature tornadoes over here where everyone can experience their own personal tornado. Oh yeah, you can actually open that up. Oh, don't want to let the tornado out. And you can actually, you know, play with your tornado. That's the light there. Hey, little guy. Close him up and see. Oh, there it goes, twirling.
I can touch it.
We have an exhibit over here on toy manufacturing. Oh, look at these robots here. Why can't Baxter come and play with these robots? Oh, doing a little robo dance, synchronized robo dance. Whoa, that's fun. So it looks like this exhibit actually lets you dream up and manufacture your own 3D printed toys. That shows off the robotic arms here. And then here's a retired robotic arm. It says this worked in a factory for years and years and years. Now it's all rusty and run down. See the different robotic arms. A collection of drones. The thing that everyone loves freaking out about. Oh, look at this robot spider here. A robot snake. And then these friendly little robot guys here. Oh, who's this guy? Oh, I like that. His eyes bugging out. Oh, look at the dancing little bots up there. Now it looks like there's a 3D printer at work right there, making some fun toys. The Walgreens Drug Company. And back here we have yesterday's Main Street. Yeah, a little bit similar to the streets of old Milwaukee, but a little bit, just a little bit more simple, but still pretty cool. Definitely love this sort of vibe here, especially when you got the mannequins looking at you out the windows. It's the Berghoff restaurant here. Is that the Hostess? And we have the Nickelodeon or theater. Fortunately, today the theater is free. Thank you there, Miss Ticket Taker. And we can head in here and watch silent movies. But for our last add-on attraction of the day, we're going to be headed into Old Ben, the coal mine here. Now, I have not been in the coal mine since I was a very young child. I remember thinking it was very, very fun, very, very interesting. I remember I believe that there was a real coal mine under the museum. I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but yeah, let's take a whirl on this. It's been, like I said, it's been a while. We are headed in. First, we gotta walk through the coal forest here. I guess these are the forests where coal. Oh, they're calling my time. You hear the whistle. The coal forming in the forest. I think we're gonna head up. Oh, there's a bituminous coal seam. Yeah, I'm stoked. All right, gathering here at the elevator. See the old coal miner there. And look at this. Anyone failing through negligence, check out. Will be fined the cost of the search party. So if you don't check out and they have to go look for you, You're gonna pay the bill.
To the man cave. So follow me.
All right. Get into the elevator here.
Good. All right. So this is the man cage. Any ideas why they call this a man cage? Pretty cage-like. Before 1974, women were not allowed to work underground in coal mines. There were many reasons, but there was a superstition that women caused cave-ins. I don't know how you explain all of the cave-ins before 1974 when women were not allowed to work underground, but there you go. From your depth to the actual workspace that you're working in, you're not paid for your time at all. Early coal mining towns, you're paid by the ton. You have to mine a ton before you get paid anything at all. All right, make sure to watch your step.
Oh yeah. Smells like coal in here.
So, this is the rotary dump. This is one of the oldest parts of this exhibit. It's not working today.
See the water running down right here, drizzling.
If you've heard of canary in a coal mine, they absolutely had canaries in coal mines. These little birds, they sing all day long. They have smaller lungs than humans, so they will succumb to the effects of carbon monoxide poisoning a lot quicker than a human being. Through that next screen, we're going to see the train come back here in just a moment or so.
Oh wow.
We're going to get on that train in just a few minutes.
We're going to ride the coal train.
Minute train ride. This will be the loudest and darkest part of the tour, so if you need any headphones, please let me know.
All right, and on to the train here. Let's we'll sit here in the back of the train where we get a wilder ride. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, look how close the rocks get to the train. Look out the back of the train there. Oh, this is loud. There's a worker. There's the roof bolter at work.
Please take a look around your seat.
Alright, and the face drill. And the joy loader. The coal will fall down onto a conveyor belt and it gets sent all the way up to the surface.
See the miniatures here showing how the coal is mined. Let's see, where do we come out? Oh, in an eerie liminal hallway. So today I learned there's not a real coal mine underneath the Museum of Science and Industry. It's a replica coal mine, but actually a cool piece of history because this was the first exhibit, the oldest exhibit here, actually opened in the 1930s. So really cool that this has been maintained and is still here back from the original days of the museum. And it's very cool. You get to go down. It is very realistic. They have the coal walls. You ride a coal train, you see the coal equipment. So pretty cool experience. Like I said, it's been the first time I've been back in the coal mine since I was in elementary school, and I really liked it. So I was wondering why there was a ship on one of the pressed pennies, and here's our answer. Here's the ship's gallery. I forgot this was back here. It's actually kind of tucked away in a back corner of the museum, so I kind of forgot about it. Some ship's figureheads in here. These are always really cool. Here is a dapper gentleman ship head. And they basically have the entire history of ships in this section. You can see, let's get back to the Viking ships here. Oh, yeah, this is the Viking ship. This is a Phoenician merchant ship here. And this is a Chinese treasure ship. There's Columbus's fleet. I remember we had to remember this when I was in elementary school. The Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria. Later we learned that, maybe Columbus wasn't the explorer we thought he was. Yeah, I'm almost never been back here to the shipping section. This is actually really cool. All the different miniature ships that they have. There is a whaling ship, the Alice Mandel. These big Titanic-esque ships here. Oh, you can see here where one's been cut in half. You can see all the goings-on inside. This is the Berengaria. The Berengaria here. This is the Leviathan, the huge one here. And then this one over here being built, this is just called the New York City is the name of the boat, that's just confusing, actually. Naming a boat after a city and including the word city in the name makes it very confusing. Here are some fishing boats. This one's called America's Finest. And these over here are racing schooners. Now it is time to exit through the gift shop. Now you get the old new merch here with the new name on it. Some baby chick clothing, the baby chick pins. Some U-505 merch, captured 1944. It's a U-505 model you can actually put together. Some of the attractions here listed on this shirt: the Fairy Castle, the Great Train Story, you saw the train, the baby chick hatchery, the flight on the 727, and the submarine. We didn't get to the Space Center today. This museum's huge. We definitely did not see everything today. So thank you for joining me here today at the Museum of Science and Industry, one of the great museums of the Midwest. A lot of field trips. I associate with the Milwaukee Public Museum. I associate that with my father taking me there. Here, where I went to school, I associate Museum of Science Industry with field trips, but a lot of good field trips, a lot of good memories. Field trips are great. You don't have to sit in your classroom. You get to, hang out with your friends, and you get to see some cool stuff, and you get to see bodies sliced in half. Yeah, a lot of fun here. Again, this is a huge museum. I didn't get to everything today. I was bummed out I didn't get to see the exhibit on the plastics because that was sold out. The time slots were sold out. A lot of people here today. I think a lot of people do like to take that when their families all together for Christmas, take a trip into the city to visit some of the museums. I know, I always like to visit these museums around Christmas time. So I did have the 2 add-ons today, or the 3 add-ons today. Added on the James Bond exhibit, the Coal Museum, and the Submarine Tour. With my base ticket and adding those things on, I think it came out to about $75 for my ticket. And then with parking, we'll probably creep up a little closer to $100. So yeah, the add-ons are a lot of fun. I would recommend it, or maybe add one on. There is plenty to see. Even if you don't get the add-ons, there's plenty to see for one trip. But if you come here, they are worth it. Maybe pick one, or I always like to check out the new exhibits. But I was just saying to myself, I've never been through that submarine, And in modern times, since I've been a child, I've not been through the coal mine. So I'm very glad that I did those experiences today. And of course, you know, at some point we will be back here at the Museum of Science and Industry to see what is new. You know, they always have really cool exhibits, and apparently they're moving out the mold-a-rama exhibit. Hopefully they will move the machines to different locations, keep the machines. I hope they keep the same amount of machines they have now. And then, you know, we'll see what they put in that exhibit space. But thank you so much for coming along. If you do like these videos, please subscribe. I travel around the country, I film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun, random stuff. If you'd like to help contribute to the channel, consider subscribing to Patreon, $3 or more. Get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop. We got the pressed pennies, we got the motel key fobs, we got the stickers, and the enamel pins. All that's down there now. And just still doing personalized messages on Cameo if you'd like to send a message to a friend, a family member, or yourself. And all those things help keep this Express State, Empire State Express, $9.99 on the track. This U-505 sub in the water. And the 727 in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.